let me turn this light on.
That side light usually works for us. Thank you.
We do like the side light.
Yes.
You do like the side light?
Yes.
It was backlighting.
No. I don't like the backlight. I like the side light because it hides this.
Yeah, he likes harsh ass light on this podcast.
It's not harsh ass light. It's just because this camera's not quite,
It's a webcam.
And
it's not supposed to be good.
Maybe we should upgrade that. You know how we upgrade that?
How? Patreon.com/MediaBoat.
Yes, this is where we plug it.
They're gonna announce new MacBook Pros.
So you like
He likes it.
The side light because it gives you a better shape.
I like my saturation.
Yeah, you can see.
I don't like cool colors unless everything else is considered a cool color.
I love cool colors.
So you didn't like all television from 2002 to 2007?
No, I didn't.
Because everything was shot in that weird gray blue. Christy showed me the pilot for Smash, that NBC show.
Yes.
Because she loves it. It's terrible. And we watched the pilot and I was like, holy shit, this is so blue. And then I remembered, oh yeah, all television was like this.
Yeah.
For a good 6 or so years. And I'm so glad people got over it.
2002 to 2007.
There was a period of time where it's just
Yep.
they wanted everything to look super professional.
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights was an early
Heroes.
dinner. That Heroes
with soft color.
Just nothing but cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's blue.
Cool soft color, same thing.
Yeah,
I like Twilight colors.
It
though.
can
I
look
like
good.
that contrast.
It can look good, but
I think it's an aesthetic choice.
I think what I'm saying is
but sometimes it becomes a network choice.
I'm not saying it's not necessarily
you can tell what an FX thing compared to what a CW thing is.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's weird seeing it now because
times has changed.
Now there's so much more colors. They gave up.
They stopped doing so monochromatic.
Well, when Disney got a hold of everything, it became a world of color.
I think it was less Disney influence.
Of color.
Or just they just got over it.
Wonderful.
Also, LED TVs kind of became popular, so colors starting
colors
to
again.
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of different factors, but
Travis, immediately after you guys said
the NBA.
No, Tom Hanks.
Hanks.
Yes, Autumn Shank. There's a deep Simpsons cut right there.
Wow.
Ready?
Okay, let's just do this. It didn't work.
No, hold on.
Hey!
Hey, it knows what it wants to do when it wants to do it.
And you know what we want to do?
Is stay healthy.
That too, but also have the Media Boat Podcast. Hello! Welcome! This is, as I just said, the Media Boat Podcast. This is a podcast all about movies, television, video games, and music. Not necessarily in that order, but some order thereof.
It happens. We have an order to things.
We are podcasting currently from our quarantined bunker here in beautiful sunny California.
Yes, windows open and everything.
Windows wide open. No, we're not quarantined. We're not in a bunker. Those of you who are, well, perfect time to listen to a podcast just like this one. But stay safe out there. So yeah, if you're new to the Media Boat Podcast, we give you all the newest news and thoughts about the newest television, movies, music, and video games.
Not necessarily in that order, but oh man, do we have stuff to talk about?
We have all of the above for you today. So my name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt.
It's my birthday.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Damn it, it took me right out of my mouth.
Yoink.
I was literally about to say, it's a special day.
I am 30 today.
That we celebrate.
I am 30 years old.
Yes.
It's official.
It's official.
It's official. You can now cancel everything because you're 30.
Yeah, I'm done. My 20s are over. No more fun is to be had in my life. I'm moving on to just having a career, a family of sorts.
A family of
Cats.
fur babies?
Purr
babies?
A fur baby.
A fur baby or a purr baby?
A
purr baby.
A purr baby.
A purr baby.
So yeah.
We have audience live with us, in case that is what you are hearing in the background.
It happens every once in a while.
Yes, sometimes chat decides to
become real. Live amongst us. So yeah, this is going to be a crazy show, so let's get rolling right into it. So, we always start the show with movies, and we always start the movie section of the show with a weekend box office numbers.
So,
Realize I say that the same way every single week. I know. I'm aware.
Yes. I know you say that every single week.
thing.
But we had the new Pixar release this week.
Yeah, so last week we talked about the debut of Pixar's Onward, their new film.
Yep.
And we did a little bit of an over-under. You kind of pegged it
About 60
million for its debut, because even if, as we said, even if people didn't show up because of coronavirus concerns, you still thought that the strength of a Pixar movie would still bring people to the seats.
The strength of a Pixar movie and the strength of it being a family-friendly film where you automatically get those extra dollars.
Well, you were wrong.
I was wrong, but the Hollywood insiders who gave the predictions were relatively on the money.
So yeah, Onward premiered to only $39 million, which is okay considering this year has been pretty much low stakes.
Yeah, now that's a high 39 relatively to 40,
but not great considering the state of the movie business right now is all together low.
Yes.
And two, for a Pixar movie, this is awful.
For a Pixar movie, Matt, higher or lower than A Bug's Life?
This is a little unfair because this is some 1998 dollars here,
yes.
And so I'm gonna say lower with inflation.
Well, with inflation, maybe. Just straight up, this barely beats it.
Okay.
Higher, lower, Onward compared to The Good Dinosaur.
I'm going to say higher than The Good Dinosaur.
Wrong.
Wow, really?
$1 million lower than...
Oh, just one. Okay.
Well, yeah. But that's about where it's ranking right now in terms of Pixar box office.
Okay. So not super high, not what you would want from a Pixar film's debut, but decent enough, I guess, where it's not a bomb.
I think this movie couldn't have been pushed back, as we'll talk about with other stuff. That they put in so much marketing with it. They had the Super Bowl commercial with it. That this was their film and basically their week to dominate the box office.
Also, they can't really afford to push back a Pixar movie when there's another Pixar movie later this year.
Right.
Like, they just don't... They can't have them back to back.
Right. They push the other one back. They have time for that.
They do, but then they lose a November tentpole, and then Disney doesn't want to take that risk.
I know.
So, no, there's a reason why this thing came out. And you know what? It's not a disaster. It's fine. They'll live.
I know.
Number 2, right underneath that, is The Invisible Man, who people still saw.
Even though it was invisible.
Yeah. For $15 million. That's at $52 million domestic.
Yes, that was also a new release.
Number 3, The Way Back, another $8.1 million. Or no, $8.1 million that debuted this week.
That was a debut this week, not
The
Invisible Man. That was a previous
Invisible
week.
Man carried over.
Yeah.
Number 4, Sonic the Hedgehog, another $7.7 million. That's at $140.
Hey, there's a good one. Which one's higher, Sonic the Hedgehog or what was it? Pokemon by the same time.
Actually, I think Sonic is tracking better than Pokemon.
Sonic is currently tracking better.
Detective Pikachu was, because I think Detective Pikachu had a bigger drop off than we expected.
Yeah. Sonic is currently about 10 million higher.
Sonic's doing okay.
On the same pace.
It's
or within the same time frame.
Easily on pace to become the most successful video game adaptation.
And this is the part where we start to try and plug Mario somehow, and then get a crossover into Smash Brothers with these 3 worlds.
Is already doing it. I saw multiple headlines this week of weird media partnerships that Nintendo is doing about the Mario franchise. Mm-hmm. One, Levi's is going to make Mario overalls in real life.
Okay.
The second thing is Lego is going to make a Super Mario set.
Okay.
About time, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's built very blocky.
I think this is all in lead-in for some sort of trailer reveal later this year for that Illumination Mario film.
Right.
That they're doing
I
with
believe
Universal.
that. I believe
that. I'd be
that.
surprised if that was sooner than later.
Yeah.
Number 5, The Call of the Wild, $6.7 million. That's $57 million. That's it for CG Dog and Harrison Ford.
Yep, still tracking on a $50 million loss on that thing.
My dad gave me a brief review of that thing.
I love dad reviews.
Yeah, he said he enjoyed it. They saw it. Yes, well, usually it's your dad giving the dad reviews.
Usually it's my dad doing dad reviews.
But my dad gave a dad review, and he said that they had a good time. And they were impressed with the CG dog, which is not what I
Really?
expected him to say.
Yeah, I mean, considering from the commercials, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, it looked bad in the trailer.
But that is the difference between a 30 FPS, 60 FPS, and then a 24 FPS.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe there's a bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are your top 5. If you're wondering what happened to Emma, period.
Yes, Emma Period, the other new release.
4.8 million. That was at number 6.
Okay.
So just edged out of the top 5.
Yes. Which, by the way, I did get this wrong. It technically released the week prior
Yeah.
to limited release,
Yeah,
but
we don't
this
do
was
limited release.
No,
Remember,
this was the wider
our rule
release.
here. Wide release, 1,000 or more theaters.
Yep.
That's our rule here at the Media Boat Podcast. Coming this week, speaking of new releases,
What am I watching this week?
I don't know what you're watching, but here are the 3 movies coming out this week.
I'll tell you what. Okay. Well, go ahead. Get through there first.
First up, The Hunt.
This is Janelle Monáe in a
Yes.
starring vehicle.
Yes.
Based on the adaptation of the short story, The Greatest Hunt?
Something
What's it
like
called?
that, yeah.
The World's Greatest Prey? World's Greatest Hunt?
I don't know.
World's Greatest Game.
World's
Or no.
Greatest...
World's Most Dangerous Game.
Wait, the most dangerous game?
Yeah, that's it.
already been a movie.
Yeah, that's what this is based off of.
Oh, it's just another one of those.
This is another recreation of that.
You know what the most dangerous game is?
It's coronavirus.
No.
Oh.
It's Man.
Oh.
Man.
Man with the coronavirus.
No, it's just Man. Most dangerous game.
Okay.
Also in theaters this week, Bloodshot.
This is a Vin Diesel vehicle, but he's not in a vehicle.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Is he
Vin
shooting
solar
blood
power?
in this film?
It's a shoot 'em up starring Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
He gets reincarnated, and every time he does, he gets like stronger.
Wait, so is this
I don't know if it's reincarnated or if it's like he just like
live,
twin.
die, repeat going on here?
Yeah, if it's just like
Okay.
they just like cloned him. I think I forget what the actual reason why he keeps not dying is. But
Anyway.
yeah, that's Bloodshot.
And then one last movie. So I've been seeing ads for this, I swear, for more than a year, and I can't believe this movie hadn't come out yet.
Yes.
My Spy, which
What?
is
Starring Dave Bautista.
the Bautista movie with the kid.
Yes, Dave Bautista as a spy who babysits or takes over babysitting duties of a family
Yeah.
in order to like get more information.
Yeah.
A la The Pacifier, another Vin Diesel
Right.
film.
I could have sworn this came out already.
This is not a new concept. Also,
Well, also, no, feel
We'll
like
talk
I saw
about
the
this.
trailer like over a year ago.
yeah, probably.
I remember when I first saw the trailer, I was like, it got a couple chuckles out of me, and I was like, okay, this seems okay.
It came out about the same time I think Stuber came out.
Yeah.
I think it was a trailer in front of that, and that was a summer release.
So, yeah, it's been a while. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
It's been a while.
So this thing's finally out.
Yes, or so we'll say for now. We will get to that in a minute, but I've been banned from going to the movies because of this virus everywhere.
Okay.
So we may not have any movie thoughts for a while.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this AMC Theaters gift card I got today.
Hey, you can go to an empty theater.
Yeah, good deal or something.
Yep.
All right, moving on. That is it for new releases. So you have no thoughts?
I have no thoughts. I will have no thoughts
Okay.
for a while.
I have no thoughts as well. Moving on to the movie news.
All right.
Speaking of the coronavirus, as we will multiple times this year, today?
To this episode,
possibly for the rest of the year.
possibly.
First story is about that, specifically about South by Southwest.
Yes, the big arts and TV and music festival.
Yes, big cross-media explosion extravaganza will not be happening this year.
Wah, wah, wah,
The
wah.
festival in Austin, Texas has officially been canceled amid concerns about the coronavirus. This is the first major American film festival called off due to the worldwide outbreak. The decision was made by the city after a number of participants, including Netflix and Amazon Studios, pulled out of the gathering. The festival was set to begin this weekend, from March 13th to the 22nd, but instead we'll be making a statement as this is the first time in the event's 34 history that has been just straight up called off.
Yep.
This also means that things that were supposed to premiere at this festival will no longer premiere at this festival, including, but not limited to, Spike Jonze's documentary about the Beastie Boys story.
Which we discussed on this podcast.
Greg Daniels' Upload.
For HBO, I believe.
The new animated series from Bob's Burgers' own Lauren Bouchard, Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
Among others. So there's probably a lot more that's not happening. One reason why organizations may be reluctant to cancel events comes down to insurance, as some disease-related coverage kicks in only if the government makes the call to cancel an event rather than the organizers doing it themselves.
And this was the city canceling the event.
A term that I've heard a lot on podcasts I've listened to this week is force majeure.
Yes.
Which is basically the legal rule where it will take a government, like a city government or a federal government, in order to shut something down.
It's right there next to the act of God clause in your contract.
It's very similar to an act of God clause, where if they deem it's too much of a risk to have some event take place, they have the right to shut down said event. And that is happening all over the dang place.
Right. It's also why,
right
well, it's going to be a running theme this show especially, but it's also why you're going to see things shut down with that statement. What's it called?
Force majeure.
Force majeure. Majeure force. Majeure of force. Being referenced to a lot in articles and news this upcoming weeks.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you just straight up cancel an event, then you are canceling the event.
Right.
That is on you. But if an outside force determines to cancel an event, that's when insurance decides to kick in.
Yes.
And a lot of these places may or may not actually have insurance to cover something like that.
And on top of all that, if people have bought tickets to an event and then end up having the event canceled, they're going to want a refund. And chances are, you as the company are like, well, we already used that money. And so that's where the insurance helps as well.
Right, but don't forget, this isn't just for tickets to, say, a concert or an event. These are plane tickets. Mm-hmm. These are hotel tickets. These are extra tickets extra funds that people are going to be missing out on or have already prepaid that have to now cancel and make different plans.
It's going to lead to a lot of complications.
Deposits everywhere.
Yeah. So other events to watch to see if something similar happens here are CinemaCon and the Tribeca Film Festival, which are to come, but may suffer the same fate.
Yes. There was an online thing I saw about trying to get the South by Southwest films, at least, to just be picked up by Netflix and have their own streaming weekend exclusively of the films, for like potential buyers, or just like, set up their own site to say, hey, South by Southwest online for everyone.
Yeah.
A virtual tour, which we'll get to more virtual tours later.
Yes, we will. But first, let's move on to our second story in movies here, which is about... We're going to do a little shuffle for y'all.
All right, so to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left.
To the right,
to the right, to the right, to the right.
Now kick. Now
kick.
Now kick.
Now kick.
Now
walk your body out. Now walk your body out.
Wait, I'm done the Cupid shuffle. Now talk about the movie shuffle, because April got shuffled around thanks to the departure of James Bond, No Time to Die.
Which we talked about last week, moving to Thanksgiving.
So since James Bond's out of April, specifically April 10th, its original release date, some family-friendly films are taking advantage of that cleared slot. Trolls World Tour has moved up a whole week to take that April 10th release date, which may be why they released that Justin Timberlake... but it's really just a SZA song, single early. I actually like that song because it's just a SZA song.
Because it's SZA.
Like, it's not like... Justin Timberlake shows up like for one verse, and yet he's credited for the song. It's so stupid. Anyway.
Well, it's like that song with Future, but it's really by Drake.
It's really by Drake. I actually haven't even heard that. It's just
I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, you also have here... So... this conflicts with what we just talked about in the new releases.
I know.
You have here that the April 17th also is being considered for My Spy, but is that out next week or this week or is that out the 17th?
That is not out this week.
Okay, so correction.
Yes.
From
which I warned
10
about.
minutes ago.
I warned about past us that this would happen to future us.
Well, it didn't work. Future you should have come back in time to stop us. So yeah, sorry. My Spy is not out this week.
No.
Even though, God, I swear it was already out. No, April 17th will be its release date. Apparently it's already showing in Australia and New Zealand, so...
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that got pushed to a more family-friendly, I think they did that in the hopes that it would die down, but seeing as our president just literally hours ago gave a not that calming speech to America.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe things will get worse before they get better.
That's always the case, isn't it?
Just like life.
2020. Anyway, lastly in movie news, just to send you off with some good news that's tangential to movies here.
Yes. Speaking of things getting shuffled,
we have a little bit of an update from our story last week about
2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yes, about guilty sex offender Harvey Weinstein. He will be shuffled off to Rikers Prison in New York for a grand total of 23 years. Bye!
Yes, but also do note that's just for the New York trial. Yeah. He still has his LA trial to come.
Yet,
yep.
So I hope he likes seeing some bars for a very, very, very long time.
Bars of soap?
No, we don't make that joke in 2020. Moving on! Come on. We're better than that. We're better than that here at the Media Boat Podcast.
Yes, but he is not.
Remember when Saturday Night Live had a recurring sketch that was just like 15 billion jokes about prison,
Yes.
And that was the entire bit?
Yes.
It was just Jason Sudeikis yelling this at you?
Yes. Or no, it was
Kenan Thompson.
Kenan Thompson doing movie references.
Man, you could not do that anymore.
No.
You could not do that bit anymore. Moving on.
No, but Jason Sudeikis wasn't. He was the cop who was letting it go.
That would bring the person in.
Bring McIntosh in to yell at Andy Samberg and his friends.
Right. God, so
Andy Samberg, Bill Hader, and whoever that guest was that week.
Whoever the guest was, Anyway.
And just make constant movie references.
That is it for movies. Speaking of movie references, that's done. We're done with movies.
Oh, no more thoughts on it?
No more thoughts.
All right.
Moving on to television, and we always start television with the sports corner.
Oh boy, do we have some breaking sports news?
Breaking sports news. If you like basketball, guess what?
I hope you liked today.
Because
that was it.
You'll have to wait for more. Because the NBA has officially announced they are postponing the basketball season.
As of this recording, literally right now.
Yes, right now.
The NBA has not officially gave the word.
But more or less.
But according to inside league sources and according to a press release, that as soon as all the NBA games that are done today, on March 11th, that basically midnight at the 12th, they will officially suspend the NBA season.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that's like 3-4 weeks left in the season. But that also means playoffs are being suspended.
Right. So you'll have to wait a very long time, presumably, or maybe not, we'll see, to see how this basketball season shakes out.
Yeah. But, this thing didn't just come out of nowhere. Oh, no. No.
It's been happening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they had a player test positive.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert. Gobert.
Okay.
Gobert. I'm just going to say every letter in it. Okay. Gobert.
Okay.
Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz tested positive in the league for the coronavirus. Also, I guess, in moving tangential news, Tom Hanks tested positive as well.
Yeah, that happened.
But yeah, people are starting to test positive for coronavirus. At least 1,000 cases in the U.S., affecting some 30-some-odd states currently.
Yep. It's coming around.
Stuff is going to be canceled. And by stuff, I mean other sporting events.
Yeah, so we'll get there in a moment. But first we
let's
have...
jump there right now.
Okay, so let's jump
to the NCAA men's basketball.
Yes, so that's being...
that's the second story.
Yeah, I don't see anything about the coronavirus in that.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, because they, the first 4 matchups for the basketball tournament are still scheduled for March 17th to the 18th, with the first round that weekend,
yes,
the 19th and 20th.
Yes, Selection Sunday is this Sunday, but it will be a somber Selection Sunday.
Because this year, the tournament will be held without spectators. No one will watch it.
I mean, people will watch it on TV because only a limited amount of people will be allowed into the arenas.
Only essential media and family will be allowed at the games.
I don't know how they determine family, if it's like you have to be related to the player.
Yeah, I don't know how
and
that works.
make sure you're clean.
It's like, no, I'm his bro.
No, I'm not.
Trust me, I'm his bro.
Yeah, but only
I will not elaborate any further.
Because it's NBA. Only essentials. It's the D League, it's not the NBA.
Yeah.
Only essential personnel will be allowed at the NCAA tournaments.
So, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we have to wait until then to see it already take effect.
Yeah. Because the Ivy League has canceled their tournaments as 4 schools closed campus after coronavirus concerns. Yale was the first team in with this decision.
Yeah, Yale had the best record in the Ivy League, so they will get the bid, even though Harvard beat them twice this year by double digits both times, and was basically one of the favorites coming into this weekend tournament to beat Yale.
Oh,
But no. I mean, it sucks for the seniors who are I guess that's how my season ends, by not playing another game and not realizing, that's the last time I'm ever going to play.
Yeah.
Which, that's what coaches always say. We never know when it's going to be your last
game
time.
Like the last one.
Yeah, because you never know when your last one's going to be. And for most of those guys... Surprise, that was it. Unless you're like Jeremy Lin, who came from Harvard and decided to play in the NBA.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy time in sports. But
yeah, that's the big one, that the NBA we're reporting it here because ESPN is currently reporting it as well, that the NBA will be suspended.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they decide to go the NCAA route and play games but without people.
Yeah, that's a theory that might happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, but as of right now, we're going to say the season has been suspended.
Yeah. Then, meanwhile, though, other things are happening in sports that aren't coronavirus related.
But might well be.
The NFL free agency begins 4 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday.
Yes. The teams have until this Sunday to franchise tag any players, meaning they are basically frozen from being looked at a free agency. They're basically signing them under a franchise tag. But any person who's not under that franchise tag and is a free agent basically enters free agency. Mm-hmm. The top 2 names currently that I constantly see being eyed at, well, I guess 3 for free agency are Dak Prescott of the Cowboys.
Dak Prescott, though.
Amari Cooper of the Cowboys, receiver. And Tom Brady as well.
What do you know?
He is currently being eyed at, or at least continuously speculated that he will leave New England for some odd reason.
That's the theory.
Also the theory, or I guess not a theory, but confirmed, Philip Rivers of the Chargers will not be returning to the Chargers.
Right.
But that doesn't mean he has a team for next year.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see if someone decides to pick him and his 9 children up as part of their roster.
Yep, all the kids. Package deal. Comes with them. Then also in football, Steelers and Cowboys were announced for the hot game. What is the hot game?
The Hall of Fame.
You have HOT.
I have HOF.
No, you want to see your HOT?
Oh, did it autocorrect?
It says the hot game.
Did it autocorrect to HOT?
It did.
It did.
I was going to say, it's the hot game. They have that in Hotlanta.
Oh,
No, that's the Super Bowl. No, that's the Hall of Fame game.
Okay, Hall of Fame game.
Will be the Steelers versus the Cowboys. Which, who knows who the Cowboys quarterback will be at that time.
We'll see.
Also, we assume Ben Roethlisberger will be back to be the quarterback for the Steelers. Otherwise, we may be seeing Duck Hodges out there throwing a ball.
Sorry, I
to
had to
someone.
go Duck Hodges just now.
No, because he's a duck caller champion.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yes. No one did until he was forced to play
duck call?
quarterback. There's like, hell, who is this guy? Do a quick Google search. Oh, apparently he did this. Yeah. But
Anyway.
Lastly, in sports news, we will be because the NBA decided to spend games. We will be keeping an eye out on what the MLB decides to do as that season starts. Beginning of April, first week of April.
Yeah.
Right now, they're currently in spring training.
Yeah.
But as teams return to their home state and their home city, it will be monitored. I guess is the best word to say.
Yeah.
Of what they decide to do with games.
It'll be very interesting. We will keep you guys posted on that.
Yeah, especially
now that I have a vested interest.
Yes, but we'll also. But we're not done to talk about stuff that got canceled here.
Yeah.
Moving on, I guess.
Moving on, out of sports. We're done with sports. Let's move into television news.
All right, what TV got canceled?
Well, TV isn't getting canceled, but Upfronts got canceled.
All right, so Matt, for those of them, not me, I know what they are, but for those of them who don't know what Upfronts are.
Upfronts, essentially, is when you bring in your media buyers, your networks, your etc., your advertisers, talent agents, pretty much anybody that you want to have be in front of your new television series, and you show them your new television series. You just sit them down and be like, this is it. How much do you want? Like, how much do you want to buy this for?
Throw money at us.
Throw money at us, throw talent at us, throw resources at us. Like, this is the time to do that. But, as the coronavirus continues its spread, some media companies are changing their plans for the annual Upfronts presentations. So, several companies have already canceled, postponed, or modified plans for the presentations. Cancellations include AMC and Fox News. You have news here in quotes. Just
Yes.
going to say that there's some editorializing going on in this post here. And A&E doing a virtual presentation to ad agencies. That's smart.
Yeah.
The event is still scheduled to start March 12th, though, and continue through May 14th, more or less, depending on who actually shows up and does it.
Yeah.
New York, however, I understand, is not quite on lockdown. They are
not yet
hesitant to pull the trigger quite yet.
Manhattan specifically is on high alert, but the rest of New York is currently not on lockdown. But
it's on watch.
It's on watch, and if the current mayor of New York City, whatever his name, de Blasio, has anything to say about it, no one will be on the train, so no one might go to work.
Yeah, we'll see how that happens. Similar story here in Orange County. We're not on lockdown. We're not really sure what's going on.
No, that's actually currently going on at my work office, where we're being tested, or we're initiating pre-alert status because we should have this in case when the big earthquake happens.
Yeah.
But this is a good test run to basically say, hey, should we not have the ability to go into work? Do we have, in preparation, something to continue business?
And for me, I cannot do my job from home.
Well, you don't have a laptop to do your job from home.
Well, no. It's not even just about the hardware. It's that I need access to websites in which they are IP address tracked. I would have to run a virtual machine and log into my computer.
Well, see, that's what we would do.
Address would be the same, and that would be too complicated.
Well, see, that's what they're having us do, is that they give us a laptop and have us log in through a VPN back to their servers.
So we'll see what happens with that, but we're getting out of ourselves. We're not talking about that.
No.
We're talking about television news. Let's
Yes.
move on to our
Oh,
second
is that all I
story.
had on it?
Yeah, that's all you have.
Oh, I thought I had more.
The second story, which is a little bit happier news.
All right,
Because
so-
new TV is still happening.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Yes, even though, like we just talked about new TV basically being on hold for buyers, that's not going to stop companies from greenlighting stuff.
No.
And this one is something I think we will watch.
Yeah, so I mentioned this recently on our side series we're doing right now, our March Madness bracket about television series from the 2010s.
There's our plug right there.
Yep, let's plug
Our
that
March
now.
Madness
If you
bracket.
want to listen to that, that is available now on our feed. We have a couple of episodes in the can for you as of this recording. Anyway, but what I mentioned was about how Fox, after their purchase of Bento Box, the animation studio that brings you Bob's Burgers, is going all in on primetime animation because they are obviously probably, well, this is a theory. The theory is that they'll be moving away from promoting long-standing shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy because they are no longer franchises that are wholly owned by the network. They are now Disney properties.
Correct.
So
As Disney Plus continues to tell me that The Simpsons is on it.
So in order to continue their animation domination, as it were,
Yes.
they are greenlighting their own animated primetime shows from Bento Box. And the newest one announced is it has some powerful names behind it.
Names that we may continuously be talking about on our side project there for March Madness.
None other than the duo behind 30 Rock and the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Tina Fey and Robert Carlock.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have Robert Carlock's name on the story, so it's good that I already knew it.
No, he's on there. I think. Oh,
Anyway,
it might not be.
so you should be glad that I just know his name.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, they're doing a 20 episode straight series order for Netflix. So this is not Fox, but
No.
it's also Bento Box.
Yes.
But yeah, called Mulligan. It is an animated comedy that explores what happens after an alien attack destroys the Earth, and how what remains of humanity has the chance to start society over from scratch.
Being a do-over or a
mulligan,
mulligan.
if you will.
The golf term.
So yeah, like I said, Bento Box is handling the animation. Meanwhile, they're also developing an untitled L.A. Mayor comedy starring Ted Danson and Holly Hunter for NBC, which is expected to premiere later this year. By the way, I learned something interesting about this show, this Ted Danson show.
Yes.
Apparently, when it was first pitched, this was supposed to be a 30 Rock spinoff.
Okay.
Apparently, they had pitched it as a show about taking place immediately after the finale for 30 Rock, in which Jack Donaghy runs for mayor of New York.
Okay, I
And it was
figured.
supposed to be about his political life as mayor.
Okay.
However, as production continued, they decided to they first revised it with Ted Danson in the role instead of Alec Baldwin. Probably because they couldn't afford him anymore.
Right.
And then once they realized that there was no reason for it to keep ties to the 30 Rock universe, they dropped all ties to it. So
And then 3 years later, the 2016
yeah.
election happened.
Right. So yeah, this is that. It's just not related to 30 Rock anymore.
Right.
So yeah, interesting stuff.
I mean, I guess that's why they moved him from New York to L.A.
Right. Yeah. In order for Ted Danson to be more at home, I suppose.
Yeah.
Literally. So yeah, that's it for that.
Yeah.
Look
That's
forward to
it
that.
for TV
On a related
news.
note, I watched. This is not really a thought because I don't
Okay.
really have much to say about it, but it's related to the Bento Box Studio. I watched the pilot for Duncanville.
Okay. And?
It has its moments, but I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
That sounds like me with Bless the Hearts.
Yeah.
It had moments, but not
Yeah.
necessarily going to watch it.
It seems like there's some good talent behind it. Mike Scully, who was a showrunner on The
Mhm.
Simpsons in like season 9 through 11, I want to say,
Right.
is the creator on this, along
Okay.
with his wife. And Amy Poehler, who has a production credit as well.
Okay.
And there's moments where I'm like, yeah, this is decent, but the whole thing is just there's a pacing issue and like it's not super appealing looking. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna stick with
Okay.
it, but it exists.
All right.
But you have an actual thought.
Yes, I have an actual thought. So, Guy of Guy's Grocery Game and Diners, Drive-Ins, and Jives decided to steal our idea of a March Madness bracket and have his own type of tournament of March that makes me go mad.
Yes.
In a bracket format.
Yes.
Guys Tournament of Champions, where he brings in chefs from all of Food Network.
So, real quick, I have an issue with him using Tournament of Champions, because you know what I think of when I hear Tournament of Champions?
Jeopardy.
I think of Jeopardy.
Yes. I don't know if it's actually called Tournament of Champions. I think it is.
I think it is. I think I've seen the little ad in the corner.
But
it's just straight up called Tournament of Champions.
I mean, it's Guys Tournament of Champions, so that way it's possessive.
Yeah.
And not just general Tournament of Champions.
I agree, he's very...
But Tournament of Champions is just a general thing that I think everyone has trademarked.
Still.
Like when I was in Little League, I was a part of the Tournament of Champions, which we won.
Well, congratulations.
That's when I peaked.
Yep, that was your peak right there. It's all been downhill from there.
Yes, ever since I turned 11. All downhill.
You got married, still. Nothing beats that moment. Anyway.
I still have my bottles from then.
Aw.
Yeah, they gave us little cider bottles as like champagne to pop and spray everywhere.
Cider bottle rules.
Yeah, cider bottle rules.
Anyway.
Anyways, Guys Grocery Games.
Yeah, Tournament Champions.
Guys Diners, Dives, and Drives. And Guys Thanksgiving Challenges. And other Food Network competitions.
So it takes all the champions of these things and puts them in a bracket.
Well, not just from Guy related, but there's like some Top Chef champions here. Some like there's an Iron Chef in here as well.
Oh. Is it Morimoto?
No.
Ah.
No, it's what's her name? Alfonso?
Oh, yeah.
Alfonso de la Renta?
Something like that.
Yeah, anyways, and it puts them in an East versus West style bracket to determine the best chef. But it's also done in the style of Guys Grocery Games, where he does a big spin of the wheel, and like it determines their protein, their side, their flavor palette, a utensil they have to use, and how much time they have.
And mileage to Flavor Town.
I mean, your mileage may vary, but basically every chef that they brought in has been on Food Network, has won Food Network competitions, and has basically made a name for like Jet Tila's on this thing.
Huh.
We love Jet Tila.
Yeah.
And we just saw him on TV.
Yeah,
Bo is also on there as well, and a lot of good chefs that I watch, or like because you constantly watch Food Network. It's like, oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that girl. Oh, I remember that person.
Yeah.
Just constantly just makes it a big tournament of champions, and I like it. And so when it comes to judging, they aren't out there. So the judges who come in, one of them is Curtis Stone, come in and they don't know who cooked it, but they have two people out there who watch them cook, and then they provide them with the dish and answer any questions they may have.
Neat. Okay.
Yeah, one of them is Simon Punjar, one of our favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a fun little throwback of like, kind of reminds me of like a high school reunion. Of like, oh, all these people who you know from like, all these different cliques are just now all coming together.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a fun show.
It's a cool
I
idea.
like it. Yeah.
That's not the only thing you watched this week.
It's the only thing I could comprehend this week.
So, yeah, let's talk about the bigger television release that you watched this week that I presume people are talking about. I haven't heard personally or on Twitter, but it seems like it's a big deal. So tell us, what the hell is Devs?
That is a good question, and I think that is part of the mystery box that is this show.
So is Devs short for developers?
That's what it wants you to think.
Are these game developers?
That's what. No, it's not game.
Web developers, app developers. Okay.
Okay, so
they make appetizers for chili.
All right, so this comes from Alex. This comes from Alex Garland.
I could have presumed that from the trailers.
You know, the guy from Ex Machina and
that guy.
What was the other one? The Natalie Portman one.
Yeah.
Annihilation.
No,
it's Annihilation.
Annihilation, not Arrival.
He might have done.
Which one is which? I don't remember.
Annihilation is Natalie Portman. Arrival is Amy Adams.
You're right. Okay, it's probably Annihilation.
Yes,
anyway.
It's Annihilation. Anyways, I don't know what this is.
You watched it. You don't know.
Okay. Long review short, I don't know what this is, and I kind of want to know what this is.
Okay.
So in the past 10 years or so, the idea of big tech company working on a secret project that no one knows about is kind of your basic premise of the show.
Okay.
Where your main character is all of a sudden lifted up from the peons into the altar that is this secret development project.
Right. He is picked out of nowhere to be in charge of this thing.
Not in charge, but a part of this team.
Okay.
And Nick Offerman, who is... Yes, that Nick Offerman.
Yeah, in a rare dramatic role.
Yes. Looking a lot like a really old Haley Joel Osment. Like, not kid Haley Joel Osment, but like current day Haley Joel Osment.
So current day Haley Joel Osment within like another 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 30 years or whatever.
Okay, jeez. Just drag Nick Offerman, why don't you?
Oh no, because he's made to look like he's like this much older, tired old man than he is. Or he actually is. Maybe he is.
I actually have no idea how old Nick Offerman is.
He does not age.
Hey Siri, how old is Nick Offerman?
Oh, just showing off your new toy there?
Now she doesn't hear me.
49 years old.
Wow,
Nick Offerman is 49 years old.
Oh, he looks a lot older in the show.
Anyway, I figured he wasn't that old.
Yeah, okay, might not be that old.
Thank you.
Anyways, he plays basically the CEO of this tech company, and he has discovered something. He's discovered code or written code or something.
He went to GitHub, discovered some code
that completely rewrites how you view things.
Did that
and only
go over everybody's head? Okay,
yes,
never
it
mind.
did.
Anyway,
I'm moving right along because only a
for
set
like
number
3
of people
out there. They got it.
Oh, I see them right there. Pop, pop, pop. Anyways, basically, like, these select group of people work on the same project, but he doesn't tell them what it is, that they'll just figure it out.
Okay.
It's an open source code, but we don't know exactly what it does. However, based on...
those things on GitHub.
But however, based on what I've seen, and based on what I have basically inferred, it is not a time machine, but a predictor of human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That it's a code that allows the person to predict someone else's movement.
That's
okay.
That's a sci-fi. That's an actual
It's a thing.
It's the
same
same
concept?
author as iRobot.
Maybe.
Isaac Asimov.
Asimov.
Yeah.
He wrote a whole bunch of
something
books based on the science of being able to predict large groups of people in social settings.
Okay.
Thank you, chat. So that's what this is.
So if you have a knowledge of sci-fi history, then you may already know that.
Yeah. But anyways,
if you're like us,
who just like sci-fi in general.
Who I mean, I could take or leave most sci-fi. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that was fascinating. Thank you for the input.
Yes, thank you, chat.
You're welcome.
Anyway,
I love it when chat responds so quickly.
It's good to have a resident expert.
Yes.
In these things.
A current resident expert.
Yes. Anyway.
Anyways, it's sci-fi at the sci-fi wazoo.
But it's not on Sci-Fi.
No.
It's on AMC.
No.
No, it's on...
It's an FX production.
FX, sorry.
No.
No?
It's an FX production on Hulu.
Oh, right, because they have the FX on Hulu stuff right now.
Yes. This is not on FX. You can't watch this on FX. Mm-hmm. You have to be subscribed to Hulu to watch this.
So Disney's making you buy into their system already.
Yeah, I'm bought into it. I mean, one episode in, it's definitely interesting. And unlike most Mystery Box episodes, or like Damon Lindelof likes to do, where it's Mystery Box said Mystery Box, or like J.J. Abrams likes to do, where he'll never open his mystery box. This is one that looks like, because it is Alex Garland, will actually give me some goddamn answers by the end of the season.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Is Nick Offerman God? Is that the answer?
He's basically trying to play God.
But is he actually God?
He
'Cause I
might
believe
be.
that if I had to guess, like if any like existing celebrity was secretly God, Nick Offerman would be at least in the top 10.
Yeah, but then what does that make Megan Mullany?
Oh, top 5.
Oh, top 5?
Together, they are omnipotent between the two of them. Anyway. Getting so deep in the weeds this episode, no one will understand half the shit we're saying.
It's okay.
Anyway.
It's okay. We'll sling it back and forth.
Sling it.
Yeah. Like Nick Offerman and Megan Mullany.
Ha! Funny. Anyway, so you will continue watching Devs and you will tell us more as it goes on?
I believe it is an 8-episode series so far. Or no, it will air 8 episodes in total for the season. It'll be interesting to see where it goes, because the main character that you follow, Sergey, dies at the end of the first episode.
Spoiler.
And so his girlfriend, who, you think eventually, like, it's just like, oh, she's just the girlfriend who's going to get worried. She becomes the main character and tries to find out what happened to her boyfriend and what exactly happened in the Devs area.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, keep us updated on that. It's interesting that we're talking about a show that does that, pulls that kind of rug, pulls that trick on you in the first episode, because we were just talking about, again, in our March Madness TV shows of the 2010s bracket, we were just talking about that when we were talking about Game of Thrones.
Yep.
That Game of Thrones has changed the rules, and now you have to kill off your characters in television.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. Moving on to cancellations and renewals.
Oh, right. So, speaking of shows that are, like, officially canceled, not, like, semi-canceled.
Not just festivals getting canceled. We also have shows on the chopping block. First up, Sci-Fi. This will be relevant to some people in the room. Is canceling The Magicians after 5 seasons.
It is currently airing its 5th season.
Correct. And its final episode will be on April 1st.
Yes. So, if they end on a cliffhanger...
You won't know if you believe it or not, because it's on April Fool's Day. Yeah, so we'll see how that ends. Maybe
it will just pull a Sopranos and cut to black, like 3 seconds short.
I like the exasperated sigh that came about through The Magicians. It's almost like somebody has been struggling with the show since its inception. It's a struggle.
It's a struggle on the struggle bus.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been on that struggle bus before with different shows.
Yeah, this one seems like a real doozy.
I keep trying over and over again to watch it.
I recently sat through an episode of trying to watch this thing, and man, they get away with a lot of fucks for cable.
Really?
Cable. I was shocked. I was like, how are they airing this?
Wait, like visual or verbal?
Like the word.
Oh, verbal.
Yeah. Just constant. And I'm like, when do they air this at like 1 a.m.? Like, what the hell are they doing? Did the rules change that drastically in the last 10 years?
No, I think it is in like 11 p.m.
But Sci-Fi though, like maybe FX, but like, did FX just rewrite the rulebook?
Maybe just because it is on Sci-Fi, no one's watching.
No one cares. Like they don't think anybody will notice.
It hasn't been brought up to the FCC yet.
Somebody needs like to do like an article about this, because like I'm fascinated with how much FX has changed the game.
I'm sure it's on. I know it's on Netflix, and you can binge watch like the first couple seasons.
Yeah, no, I understand how you would do that on Netflix, but straight up, do they believe they on Sci-Fi? Like, have they got to do something, right? Like, I don't know how they do it. Do they edit around it?
South Park bleeps it, and then they have the unaired.
No, you're right, but like I can't imagine them doing that for a live action drama. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So I would be fascinated to see that show run live, because they cannot edit around it.
Well,
it's that common.
Well, you can watch it on April 1st and tell me how it is.
Maybe I will, but I probably won't. Moving on, Netflix.
You're like, I'm good.
No, I'm good. Like, not my thing. Although everybody is really attractive in that show. Like that was one of my takeaway though. I was watching it. I was like literally every person, male or female,
is like
or
Quantico.
whatever.
Everyone's super good.
More so, believe it or not.
More so.
We were watching the show, and he's like, I'm like, we could change the channel. He's like, I'm okay. Everybody's pretty at least.
Yeah, like I have no idea what the hell's going on. I'm not interested at all in the story, but man, I just like looking at these people.
They're really attractive. Everybody.
Everyone. Every single character.
The nerdy people, the not nerdy people.
I don't get it. It's like what CW was 10 years ago. It's like everybody has to be super attractive.
Where Smallville was just constantly good looking.
For sure. It was like all like attractive people. Yeah.
Anyway. Smallville and Supernatural.
Yeah. It's like that. Anyway, sorry.
Like, why is everyone so good looking in this small town in little Kansas?
I know it doesn't make any sense. Why? Where did they get all of these freaking models?
Where are the good genes at?
Yeah.
It must be something in the water.
Kansas models. Anyway.
Sharing with us.
Let's move on.
All right.
This is full of sidetracking this week.
Hey, you wanted more sidetracking.
That's true. I asked for this, didn't I? Meanwhile, on Netflix, they're bringing back Ragnarok for a second season. ...
Yes, I thought Ragnarok meant the end of everything.
No, it's not end over. It continues. Comedy Central is bringing back the reboot of Crank Yankers for a second season.
The reboot?
Yeah.
That was a reboot?
That's a reboot because it was a show in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Right, I know.
Prank show. They brought it back earlier this year.
Oh, okay.
Late last year.
Right.
And they're
with
renewed
Nick
it
Kroll.
already.
Yeah.
For a second season. Chance the Rapper's involved, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
It's a Nick Kroll thing, I know that.
I don't like prank shows, so it doesn't appeal to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's with puppets.
Still does not help. I don't like any like prank show. Like that includes like anything where it's like a person on the street and stuff like that. Just it tugs on my anxiety, and I cannot watch it. Even to the point where like if like it doesn't even have to be a prank. It could just be like on a radio show if they do like a caller. If like somebody calls in, I have to change the channel.
So you don't like Ryan's Roses?
No, that stuff makes me so anxious because I'm like, this person could say literally anything. It freaks me out. I don't know why. Yeah, but at the same time, just the thought that they could freaks me out, and I have to change the channel. I don't know what's wrong with me. Moving on. So if you want to psychoanalyze me for the podcast, please.
We might do it for a separate podcast.
Let us know. mediablpodcast@gmail.com.
We might do it for a separate podcast.
Write your diagnosis for me. Anyway, meanwhile on Stars, people who care about Stars.
Yes.
The Rook. Not The Rookie, but The Rook, which is a different show, I guess.
It is.
Canceled after one season.
Huh. See,
even for Stars, it was not good enough.
Well, that's because it only had two moves. Forward or lateral.
Chess jokes. That's where you come. That's where you come to the Media Boat Podcast for some deep chess content. Apple TV Plus has renewed Truth Be Told for a second season. Yes, Apple TV Plus still exists.
That is a thing.
I technically have a free subscription to that for the rest of the year, and I haven't watched a single thing on it.
You know, there's stuff on there apparently.
Snoopy in space.
Or so
Snoopy
I've read.
In space. I can watch some of the morning show.
Yeah.
You know, there's stuff. Speaking of space, Lost in Space on Netflix. That speaking of reboots, will get a third season, but it will be its last.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right for Netflix. AJ and the Queen canceled on Netflix after one season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
And we move lastly into Death. I didn't say Deaths, I said Death because there's one this week, but it's a big one. Famous actor Max von Sydow, age 90.
I'm glad you said that right.
Yes. I don't know how to say Max von Sydow.
I've seen a lot of Sido.
He's been around forever. But yeah, he's a famous actor. Mostly known for his roles in The Seventh Seal, The Exorcist, famous movies. And most recently was in Game of Thrones for a little bit.
Yeah, he was Bloodraven in Game of Thrones. He was the priest in The Exorcist.
He's one of those guys that if you don't know necessarily who he is by his name, you'll see him as a character in a movie and you'll be like, oh yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah.
He's very much a recognizable
He is clearly one of that guy, but he's also been in over 100 films.
Oh yeah, very, very talented man. Definitely be missed.
Yeah, and Seventh Seal, great film.
But
that is a film school filmmaker's film.
Definitely a film school film, for sure.
But just the idea of it, of a man playing chess
Speaking of chess.
I
mean, that's not what the whole movie is about, but that is a famous scene.
Yes.
A famous scene from that movie.
Yes.
Literally playing chess against death.
Which has brought into popular media.
Oh, yeah. It's been parodied a billion times.
Not specifically playing chess, but playing a game against death.
People of a certain generation will remember from which Bill and Ted? Is it the first one or the second one? The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the second one because they're
It's
trying
the
to get
second
one.
one.
It's the second one.
That's why I asked, because I was like, I think it's Bogus
The first
Journey.
one is
Yeah.
the bogus. The second one is Bogus Journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first one
is
is
Excellent Adventure.
Excellent Adventure.
It's a Bogus Journey where
Yeah.
they have the bit about, Anyway.
I tried
Yes.
watching that recently.
Yeah, and there's also
Does it hold up?
there's a third one.
Dude.
Well, there's a third one. They're gonna bring a third one out.
They're doing a third. No, it's not out yet.
Alright.
They're
It's
doing a
not
third
a,
one.
what the one am I
They're doing a
thinking
third
of?
one.
Yeah, it was a commercial we probably saw.
It's probably
Maybe.
commercial.
All right, I hand this over to you because we're going to switch over to music now.
Oh, wow.
It's time for music.
All right, it's time for music. That means we start music with the Billboard, and we start the Billboard
Yes.
with the Hot 100.
All right, how hot is my 100 singles this year?
Hot,
this
hot,
week?
hot.
I'm saying this year. for some
You always
reason.
say this year.
Yeah, accidentally.
This
I meant
week.
This week.
Well, The Box by Roddy Ricch is still your number one single.
Because of course it is.
Life is Good by Future, but really it's
Do you think
Drake.
with everybody quarantined they would be streaming more music and maybe you would want a variety by now?
I don't know, because Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa is number 3.
It's started.
Yeah, but, people are listening to the same thing, because Circles by Post Malone
Uh-huh.
is still number 4.
Fun fact about that song I just learned today. Apparently Tame Impala's Kevin Parker produced that song.
Oh,
And now all of a sudden I hear it. Like
Yeah.
when I heard it on the radio today, I was like, you know what? I can hear it now in the
Okay.
production. It does sound like his kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a fun fact about it.
and 2 weeks ago's new song by Lady Gaga, Stupid Love,
Yes.
premieres in the top 5 at number 5.
Yeah, I'm surprised this isn't higher.
I am not.
But then again, in a streaming world dedicated to these I don't know how you describe it. I don't even know if there's a name for it. These people like Roddy Ricch were like these like internet sensations. Like I don't even know what the term is, but yeah.
Millennials.
These
No.
Zoomers.
Is that
Zoomer
what we're around to?
Zoomer music out there.
Those
Like a
TikTokers?
boogie with the hoodie.
The TikTokers?
Yeah, all those TikTokers.
Yeah. Anyways, Billboard 200. Your albums chart.
Yeah.
At number 1, My Turn by Lil Baby.
Yeah, Lil Baby, already with a new album. I swear he just put one out.
Number 2, YHLQMDLG by Bad Bunny.
My understanding is that is an acronym for a phrase in Spanish.
It is.
Yeah, but I do not know what the phrase is.
I will not try and say it either. Number 3, Map of the
If
Soul.
either of us were going to be the one to do it, you would be the one to do it, so.
Yeah, but that requires me actually looking up what it is.
Right.
Number 3, Map of the Soul, 7 by
Yeah,
BTS.
moving down for number 1 last week.
Number 4, American Standard by James Taylor. Yes, that James Taylor. With a top 5 album.
Yeah, he's right.
And number 5, Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial by Roddy Ricch.
Okay, I will.
Alright. Moving into new releases. If you don't like any of those albums, we have new releases.
Good to know. What am I listening to this week?
I don't know what you're listening to, but
here
here are the new releases.
Cool.
We have 16 Oceans
That's a lot of ocean.
by Fortet. Fortet.
410.
We have Healer by Group Love. Yes,
That Group Love.
That Group Love.
They keep playing their single on the radio. It's alright.
Okay. We also have Heartbreak Weather by Niall Horan.
Yes, that Neil, formerly of One Direction.
Yes. We also have Endless Dream by Peter Bjorn and John.
All three of them.
We also have Silver Landings by Mandy Moore, which I believe was last week.
That was last week. I probably didn't take that out.
Yeah, because we also have Moby on here.
Yeah, okay. Then
Phantogram and
because that's
Yuso.
it.
Yeah.
That's it for new releases.
Yeah, that's it for new releases.
I forgot to delete it.
Yes, I know you did, because I listened to that Mandy Moore album.
How was it? I didn't listen to it.
I'll tell you in thoughts, but first,
Well, fine.
we have
Great.
music news.
What's in music news this week?
Well, Disney's in the music news.
They are?
Yeah, Walt Disney Studios has acquired the worldwide distribution rights to filmmaker Peter Jackson's previously announced Beatles documentary, Get Back, which creates a new film from the hundreds of hours of footage that spawned...
Sorry, just a second. My watch is telling me I have to stand for a little bit.
Oh, that spawned the group's 1970 swan song,
Hope you like my
Let
crotch.
It Be. No, it's fine.
Yeah, no.
Because you sit too long?
Yeah, if you sit more for 50 minutes, it will tell you to stand.
Well, we've been talking for an hour, so
Yeah, it checks out.
that makes sense.
I included this. I know it's mostly really a movie story, but I included this because I would totally be down to see this. Like a behind-the-scenes look of the Beatles recording process would be pretty cool.
The Beatles, Get Back, will be released by the Walt Disney Studios in the U.S. and Canada on September 4th, with additional details and dates for the film's global release to follow. The announcement was made earlier today by the studio's chairman, Robert Iger, at Disney's annual meeting of the shareholders.
Yep, chairman, as his new role is.
Yep.
Chairman
Robert Iger. Bob Iger. But hey, new Beatles.
Yeah.
Not music, but new Beatles documentary.
Yeah, seems cool. Always interested in that kind of documentary. I love documentaries.
I'm interested in this because Peter Jackson did the World War I documentary.
Yeah, people like
it. It got praised for its restoration.
So he's must be good.
It must be something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is interesting.
Cool news.
I know some people who'll be really interested in Beatles mania.
I bet. All right. What else do we got?
Well,
the big story.
This is the big story.
Yeah.
Cover your mouth, cover your eyes, cover your ears, cover everything.
Sing happy birthday twice when you wash your hands.
Yes, as once again, we're going to talk about coronavirus.
Yep,
as this pains me to say this.
Yeah.
I have to say it.
I know, you do, because this affects you personally.
Alright, it's official. Golden Voice, the Coachella and Stagecoach organizers, have announced that their festivals will be postponed due to concerns of the coronavirus.
This affects both Stagecoach and Coachella.
Yes. Golden Voice released a statement on Mario Day, March 10th. Quote, at the direction of the County of Riverside and local health authorities, we must sadly confirm the rescheduling of Coachella and Stagecoach due to COVID-19 concerns.
Yes.
While this decision comes at a time of universal uncertainty, we take the safety and health of our guests, staff, and community very seriously. We urge everyone to follow the guidelines and protocols put forth by public health officials. Coachella will now take place on October 9th, 10th, and 11th, and October 16th, 17th, and 18th of 2020. Stagecoach will take place on October 23rd, 24th, and 25th of 2020. All purchases for the April dates will be honored for the rescheduled October dates. Purchasers will be notified by Friday, March 13th, that's right, Friday the 13th, on how to obtain a refund if they are unable to attend.
Okay.
Thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to seeing you in the desert this fall.
Okay, so, man who this affects directly, what are you guys' plans? Are you guys going to go in October?
Well,
Or going to ask for the refund?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Because I have a wedding in October.
Yes. Not yours. Not your own, but
No.
another.
I have 2 different weddings. Possibly 3 different weddings in October.
So it'll be a busy month.
So it's
Plus
already
your
a busy
birthday.
month. Plus, this will be my birthday
Yeah.
weekend, or my pre-birthday weekend.
That'd be a pretty crazy birthday.
Yes, but that does ruin the plans that I've been telling everyone.
Yeah.
Of my mac and cheese
But it does
fest birthday.
continue a tradition of yours to not be in town on your birthday.
Yes. Which I'm sure you are upset about.
I don't know. It's like I've just become used to it at this point.
I mean, it has been 5 years running that I'm just not in town on my birthday.
You're never here. Anyway. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what people do.
Yeah, artists have basically confirmed that they are open for those dates. Rage Against the Machine is the big question mark, though, of whether they will... They have yet to announce that they will be a part of the October reshuffling. So far, I did my own research, or at least I didn't do it. I can't take credit. My doctor took the research and saw that at least the headliners and the main acts for Stagecoach were available that weekend and had no concerts currently scheduled. So that is something that they can look forward to, possibly.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Oh, nothing. Unrelated.
Okay, I thought you were jumping at the bit there.
No.
Okay. But yeah, this does take a blow to all those people who, buy hotels, buy Airbnbs, buy all this stuff to basically get out to the desert that is Indio.
It's a lot of work.
It's not easy to get to.
Yeah, for both people who are playing these festivals and for people attending. It's a lot of planning that now needs to be completely thrown out the window and rescheduled.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I mean, not only that, but it's also for the people who live there, who depend on that August boom retail and everything.
The other thing I feel like I should mention here is that this also affects the smaller names on the bills, both festivals, as these small bands were practically relying on merchandise sales and the hype around their attending these festivals in order to float the rest of the year of tours. Mm-hmm. Some of these smaller bands also have to cancel their regular tours as well. In fact, a band I'm seeing on Friday this week has had to announce their cancellation for all of the dates after their West Coast dates. Ah. So it's affecting even small bands who can barely afford to tour at all. Right. So keep that in mind. This is not a frivolous rich problem. This does affect the smaller artists as well who need something like this. That being said, part of me is also kind of happy to see Golden Voice take a hit. They're not a great company, led by some not so great people. So part of me is a little giddy that they have to scramble. But it's those smaller kind of cogs in the big giant machine that I'm a little concerned about. But yeah, it's a whole mess. All of this stuff that's been affected by the coronavirus is a mess. This whole thing is just, I have no idea when this is going to end. I have no idea how all this is going to be wrapped up.
Well, I don't want to be wrapped up this episode because we're not done talking about it.
Yeah, no.
But it will be an interesting experiment, or at least experience, because it's in October where the weather is a lot cooler.
Yeah, it won't be freaking hot out there.
Because it won't be so goddamn hot in the desert if the bands and the festival goers like it more, that they kind of make this a permanent thing of moving it to October.
Doubt it. Because when you have the city involved here, they expect a certain thing a certain year. They probably budget around it. Right. And so they would probably be less thrilled about moving it permanently. Even this temporary move is probably driving them crazy. Yeah,
but that is a lot to take place because usually in October is when they announce the next Stagecoach lineup and the next Coachella lineups.
Yeah, by the time it'll be happening, it's we don't need to announce the next one.
Right.
Quite yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's officially been moved, and who knows if this thing doesn't go away by then. That's basically an entire baseball season of it not going away.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll see what happens. But anyway,
it's a whole 180 games of baseball between what would be Coachella
and new Coachella.
New Coachella.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Plus playoffs.
Playoffs.
Well, no, because playoffs start in first week of October. So.
Plus anyway, let's continue.
Anyways, quick thought though.
Yeah.
That
Mandy Moore.
That Mandy Moore put out an album. That Mandy Moore is also on a TV show. This Is Us.
It's true.
And that Mandy Moore was in a movie not too long ago, Tangled, as the voice of Rapunzel.
Not too long ago. You realize that was 10 years ago this year.
Let me say not too long ago.
Tangled is not a recent movie anymore.
Yeah, yes, it is. Uh-huh. Apparently we are being broadcasted all the way out in Texas right now.
Hey! Wow, we have such reach.
Yes, we do.
Anyway.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you. You Texans.
Yes.
Sorry about South by Southwest. You have thus to replace your entertainment this week.
Apparently.
Anyway.
But yeah, so That Mandy Moore put out a new album.
Okay.
Titled Silver Landings. I don't know what I think of this thing.
Yeah. Is it like her music before she went like all hands into acting? Like, is it like poppy? Is it kind of like that kind of thing?
It's kind of poppy, kind of acoustic.
Uh-huh.
It's very mellow and sounds kind of like mellow mom music.
Mellow mom music.
Yeah.
Is this a new genre you're inventing?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Where it's not like the mom music of Kelly Clarkson,
which
we've talked about before, where it still has that big pop production, but like all the lyrics and everything they're talking about, and like it's not over the top for kids, but rather of basically directed at moms.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like that, except it's more kind of like the acoustic side of stuff, more on the melody and more on the songwriting itself than it is on the sound.
Okay.
It's interesting. I like the song about LA in it.
Okay.
But other than that, it's an interesting take on current Mandy Moore.
Okay, all right. That kind of reminds me of, a couple of years ago, Vanessa Carlton came back and she put out a record first in like a decade.
Okay.
And it sounds like that's kind of the new thing is you have a really popular career 10 to 20 years ago and you're like, yeah, let's do that again. And then you come back a little subdued, a little bit more a little bit alternative, a little acoustic, and then yeah, it's for a different audience.
Definitely is for a different audience.
Seems like that's what she's going for.
Yeah.
Well, good for her. I'm glad Mandy's doing stuff. I always liked her.
Yeah. It's not quite for me, but it's also not immediately turning me away from it.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would find on a Starbucks compilation.
Yes. It's the...
That's not a bad thing.
It's the Kohl's shopping music.
Okay, that makes it sound bad, so...
Okay, maybe not that
bad. Yeah, maybe more Starbucks.
Yeah, more Starbucks.
I was happy with the mom references. I listen to mom music, the folk
cool
female,
mom,
cool
mom music,
female singer-songwriter stuff I love.
Yeah.
But
thank you, chat.
Now I'm sad.
Somebody on my Twitter, they weren't talking about Mandy Moore, but they're talking about something similar, and they said it's the kind of stuff that would happen if they made a modern Lilith Fair. I'm like, yeah,
That's hilarious.
Yep. Sounds all right. Anyway, let's move on.
To video games.
Yes, video games.
Yes. We shall start with new releases. And we shall end with new releases, because you didn't change it.
I didn't?
No.
Pokemon you don't have the updates, because I definitely updated this.
Did you?
Yes. No, I didn't. You're right.
You didn't.
I didn't. Sorry, my bad.
No, you didn't. No new games came out.
No new games. I forgot the games. I skipped it.
It's okay. We'll have a bigger game section next week.
I don't believe there's any big releases this week.
Well, no, because the big release was the previous week with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
That and Grand Blue Versus. So those games are out.
And Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh yeah, that was the big release this week.
That was this week?
That came out.
Oh, that's right. That was the later week?
That came out today.
Oh, okay.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Okay, so that is out.
That is available on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, so you can just straight up go and play that.
All right. Let's go ahead and play that then.
Let's move on.
All right, so let's move on to video game news. Well, it's not really video game news when we have to, bring up the coronavirus yet again.
It is, though, because this is actually probably the biggest video game news story we've had yet this year.
I mean, it definitely is.
Arguably in the last 10 years.
Arguably.
It's a big story.
So, we've been noting constantly on this show about not just the GD Game Developers Conference being canceled, not just of companies dropping out of E3.
And not even just South by Southwest, because video games do play a major role there in that festival as well. But,
but
the newest on the chopping block
is the whole thing itself.
is the biggest one.
E3, the
Yes.
Electronic Entertainment Expo for 2020,
Yes.
has officially been canceled by its organizers.
After weeks of the ESA saying, no, we're good, we're still planning on having it.
Yep.
Guess what? No longer happening.
Yep. In the wake of public health concerns surrounding the spread of the COVID-19 disease across the globe, Entertainment Software Association has officially dropped the axe.
Yep.
In a statement announcing the news, the ESA cited the ongoing dangers posed by the coronavirus as the overriding factor behind its decision to cancel this year's iteration of the annual gaming exhibit. Quote, after much careful consideration with our member companies regarding the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our longtime E3 partners, we've made the difficult decision to cancel E3 2020, scheduled for June 9th through the 11th in Los Angeles. And we specifically took this statement from Golden Voice because these are the exact same words they used.
It's almost as like there's a template or something.
Yes. Which is a company-wide template of, hey, if you're going to cancel something, here's the exact order you need to say it.
So yeah, this is, of course, predictable. Like, as soon as we saw stuff, all the companies dropping out of these major events, first PAX East and then GDC, like, we had guessed, like, well, they're going to do the same thing with E3 unless this miraculously stops next week.
We figure it's only a matter of time until
it was only a matter
E3.
Of time until the other shoe dropped.
Yeah.
It was just that the ESA was really dragging everybody along and basically saying, no, we're good. We're watching every day, but we're good. Still happening.
Well, yeah.
Because I think they were desperate for their one big money-making time of year to still go on. And unlike the other events we've talked about, there is no postponement here. Even GDC was a postponement in theory. They were going to revisit in September. E3, the ESA has no plans to do another live convention-style event later in the year. Instead, their backup plan is to do everything digitally. So this will be your major press conferences being streamed from the companies themselves as opposed to in a Los Angeles setting.
Think Nintendo's Treehouse that they've been doing for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Even think Sony's press conference last year.
Yeah, exactly. This will be more of that. A lot of more digital presentations of things, which really, for the person who doesn't attend E3 and just watches it from the couch, nothing will change.
Right.
Because you'll get the same exact announcement, same exact information from the press conferences that you would have if it was real. So yeah, it's not super, new, but it is definitely a change when you consider how crazy it is that in the 25 years of E3s, this is the first one that's had to be canceled.
I mean, since it began.
Yeah.
Back in 1995.
And of course the question is once the industry, kind of picks up after this is over, after they've done a fully remote E3 for a year, will this give them the opportunity to consider about whether to have one at all?
Oh, I mean...
Like, what if they figure out that this works best and that everybody has a better time and they get great feedback from their, what do they call them, their partner, like their media partners or something like that, your Nintendos, your Sonys, if you do get feedback from them and being like, oh yeah, no, this was way better.
Well, it's not like it was
just the new
25
E3.
years ago where we had the internet, you could get instant information. It's not even like 10 years ago when they had everything on TV and it was showcasing new consoles and new everything.
I mean, the last 5 years have been variations of the conversation about do we need an E3?
Right.
But they kept having it because even if it's not necessarily necessary, the industry likes it because it's an opportunity to have everybody in one place for a weekend.
It becomes their Super Bowl. It becomes their event for a weekend where all eyes are on them.
And if you're somebody who needs to, say, meet with a lot of other developers or interview them, say if you're running a video game website, like the content that Giant Bomb does every year, where they do a weeks worth of interviews with everybody that they can get, including like the big head honchos like Phil Spencer from Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
None of that can happen if there's not an E3 in Los Angeles. So none of that will happen this year. That's all gone.
Yep.
And so that's what you're losing. So it's fair to have mixed emotions here, because as much as E3 is kind of a relic of the past, it is still this great opportunity, and that is just going to be missing. It's just going to be a big hole through the year. We'll get our announcements, we'll get our press conferences, we'll get all that stuff, but we will not get the interpersonal relations stuff that you would get from a real event.
You also won't get any of the direct Q&A follow-up to it, where they announce something like when the new Smash Brothers was announced, and all of a sudden, like, everyone had 50 questions about it.
You'll have to reach out to them via your people instead of... People will have to reach out to people instead of being able to just be straight up like, hey, what's this?
Right.
Like, explain this part. It's going to be different.
I mean, the way you get around that is to do something live on YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah, have a chat or something.
And have a running chat or like a running Discord.
Yeah, that's 100% up to how the ESA decides to run this. If they're going to sponsor basically a channel, an E3 channel, and have like everything go through one kind of Twitch kind of
okay, you
place.
guys are broadcasting between this time and this time.
Or whether they're going to leave that individual scheduling to the exhibitors. Mm-hmm. Whether they're going to be like, hey, EA, the keys are yours, you can plan one, which could lead to EA doing a conference at the same time as Microsoft or something like that. I'm not saying that would happen. I'm just saying that without the ESA being like, this is your slot, this is your slot, there's, who knows, it's Wild West if they get the keys to the exhibitors.
No, I mean, if they're smart, and they may be, They'll do it like a live.
Hedging your bets a little there.
Hedging my bets a little there, but they'll do it like that, where they'll have a live stream just scheduled out that you can broadcast it on your channel, but we get the pickup feed on our channel.
So yeah, there's a lot of questions that remain to be answered, but we have all the way until July to get them answered, or June to get them answered. Mm-hmm. So, we'll find out.
They have time to put something together. Hell, I just gave them an idea, a platform,
just
right there.
Our idea, pay us for it, please.
Yes, invite us to it.
Yeah, invite us to it. Well, no, nobody's getting invited to anything.
No, we'll host it.
We'll do it here.
Hosted by Meetable Podcast.
Sponsored. Anyway, so interesting times. But yeah, it's definitely a huge news story for the world of video games.
The chat is wishing you happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, chat.
Yes. Also, the chat over here, live chat, is wishing you happy birthday as well.
Happy birthday from all of us to you.
I appreciate all the chatters.
Yes. Now, to something that the chat will really be into.
Okay.
The NFL.
So we were already talking about sports earlier.
Oh, we talked about sports earlier, but we need to talk about sports video games.
So this is something you broke to me via text message.
Yeah.
Which I was shocked by, but it ended up not being exactly what I thought it was.
I don't know. It's not what you thought it was, but it is still something.
It's something.
Yes.
Not JPEG.
It's something, not JPEG. 2K is teaming up with the NFL to create a new non-Madden football game.
Yeah.
The NFL 2K co-creation will be a, quote, non-simulation football game experience.
So, I want to clarify this because this is an extremely misleading sentence.
Yes.
Obviously, any depiction of football is a simulation of football. What they mean by this is that it won't be a professional football game.
Yes, it will not be professional football. Yeah. However,
it will use characters, teams, and likenesses from the NFL. They will have the NFL license, but it will not be like straight up sim football like Madden is. It's not like supposed to emulate a television broadcast of a football game. No,
but it can be a cartoony version of a football game. It could be a Looney Tunes version of a football game.
Potentially, although 2K doesn't have that license. Anyway.
No, but like a Looney Tunes-esque where everything is wildly exaggerated type of football game.
Possibly, within whatever Roger Goodell will let you get away with.
Like the way NFL Street was.
Again, depending on what Goodell will let you get away with these days.
Anyways, the non-simulation football game experience means EA will retain on-pitch exclusivity and instantly quashing any hopes of seeing NFL 2K21, I guess, being brought to life.
NFL 2K series.
Yeah.
Which is beloved back on the...
was it 2K5 was the last one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, any of those being brought up to date for the PS5 and Xbox Series X audience.
Yeah.
They should make it an NFL Blitz, and we would buy it.
So,
with full-on cheat codes, like 1999.
So here's the issue with that. So NFL Blitz was a Midway property. Midway got eaten by a bunch of people, but I think the Blitz property, got... Where did that end up? That may have... I know EA somehow ended up with NBA Jam, but I don't remember where Blitz went. I don't know who ended up with the Blitz IP, but... Regardless, 2K is not that company, so they would not be able to make something called Blitz. However, they may be able to make something that would be Blitz-like.
Well, yeah, I think that is the idea.
But with the actual NFL license, though, that limits the kind of exaggeration 2K can do. That was what brought us to the death of NFL Blitz.
Right.
Was when the league became all uptight about how violent you could depict football. And they basically said, this isn't going to fly anymore. The 90s, this was fine, but no, we can't make over-the-top
Mortal Kombat style football.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't make that game anymore because of what the NFL's become.
Right.
So it will be exaggerated, but to the extent that the league will allow.
It's just your chat wishfully thinking.
Yeah, I know. I get that need.
Well, yeah, but that's why I brought up the Looney Tunes reference, where it can be super exaggerated, over-the-top style.
But also, we're like 10 years out from the last time a company tried that without the NFL license. Mm-hmm. Remember Backbreaker?
I remember Backyard Sports.
No. This is different.
Okay.
There was a football game, I forget what company that did it, called Backbreaker. And it was basically, without the NFL license, it was basically trying to modernize the Blitz approach.
Okay.
But because they didn't have the license, nobody cared.
Okay, so it's not like Lawbreakers then?
No, unrelated to Lawbreakers. Cliffy B was not involved.
Alright. Well, we need something to do during all of this social distraction.
It's true.
Yes.
More football games is not a bad thing.
Nope, it is not. But instead, expect 2K's first wave of NFL games to take inspiration from its other sports-based properties. The WWE Supercard meshes Ultimate Team-style card collection with Trumps-like gameplay. And,
card games.
Yes.
In case you didn't know what that
was. I know what Tops is. And at this point is considered a far more fulfilling time sink than the sim-based WWE 2K20. Similarly, NBA 2K Mobile enables the building of a dream team from more than 400 cards, which can be boosted via daily bonuses.
So the author of the article is assuming safely, and this is probably warranted given the current state of the game industry, is that they'll probably make a mobile game.
That's
that is where the market
going.
is. If this is on consoles, who knows? But chances are 2K is going to take advantage of using the license in a way more conservative way, such as making a mobile card game.
You make a mobile card game, you make it something where you can constantly pump money into it to level up your players or get legendary players.
Microtransaction City.
And it doesn't have any actual football gameplay.
Yeah.
Just football referenced.
We could see something like that, or maybe something playing off of fantasy football.
Yeah.
Something like that. We'll see.
Yeah. Matches in the NBA 2K Mobile do include sim elements, but it's easy to see the best bits of 2K Mobile and Supercard
combining,
being fused to create a bespoke NFL experience.
We can see this is all
speculation.
They don't know actually what this game is going to be, or games potentially.
Right.
So
an NFL shooter.
What would that even be?
Ray Lewis.
Oh, anyways, moving on.
Aaron Hernandez.
Oh man, Lord. Okay, no more of that.
I mean, you can make it a 2D platformer, I guess.
Who do you play as? Who can jump?
Who can jump?
Who's a good jumper?
It's Gronk trying to fight his way back into the NFL.
Oh no! Is he on a cruise ship?
I mean, level is on the cruise ship. That's probably where it starts.
Are you collecting beer kegs?
Beer kegs to level up your muscles. Because, yes, beer and muscles work that way.
Muscles work that way, it's true. Everybody knows
I mean, why not make a game like that where you take someone from the NFL and do a over-the-top style?
They're not going to do that.
You make them superhero-esque.
Maybe. Who would you cast in a superhero game? What football player would be your superhero?
Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick's the evil guy.
That's good. That's pretty good.
No. Sorry, Bill Belichick is the evil guy with Tom Brady under his control.
Right, yeah.
And midway through the game, you turn Tom Brady to your team.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Then it becomes a co-op game?
Yep.
It's always a beast. But
it's always a co-op game, but he becomes an unlockable character with it to add to your 4-person team.
All right.
Kind of like a Borderlands style.
You gotta pitch this.
I am pitching it right now.
To 2K.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And it's all like superhero themed.
Too bad there's not an E3
like
where you could actually have pitched this. Anyway. Okay, cool. So football of some sort we will get later this year.
Yeah. And like their armor is like their teams. Like their physical teams.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Like Ray Lewis has Raven-esque armor and he can fly.
It's like an actual Raven.
Yeah, Todd Gurley has a physical ram.
No, screw all this. Make a game about the mascots.
Mascot game?
Mascot game.
Yes.
Mascot game.
There we go. Mascot game.
We did it. Mascot. No, they're not even playing football. Just a game with
mascot superhero game.
No, mascot visual novel.
No, I want a graphic novel.
No, visual novel.
Oh,
where you're just like, it's a romance game and like a dating game. So you're the frickin' Patriot dude, and no one, and you're trying to get a date, but no one wants to date your giant ass head.
Oh no! Why would you delete?
Uh-oh.
You deleted a message. No.
Uh-oh.
No,
Secrets.
I want to see it.
Anyway, all right.
Anyways, make it about the mascot.
Yeah, mascot visual novel. Make it happen, 2K.
Mascot racing game.
Go-kart game?
Go-kart game.
All right.
Yes.
All
Where Blue Shell is as a Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary.
Okay.
Just hucking it downfield to the first place guy.
Bananas are just Tom Brady's deflated balls.
Yes.
All right. Let's keep on. Let's keep going.
How is this not a thing?
Let's finish this show.
Todd Gurley would have a bionic knee.
And with that, let's wrap up this show because I don't have any video game thoughts. I'm still playing House Flippers. Call of Duty added Warzone, their Battle Royale mode today.
Okay. Yes, I saw that.
That is live today. It's free to play.
Yes, that is news that we could talk about.
Yeah, it's free to play if you do not have, did not purchase Modern Warfare. You can still play Warzone.
Yes, you can download Call of Duty, and it will give you Warzone that you can play.
Yeah, but if you already do have Modern Warfare, it'll just be an option from the menu.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have not played it yet. I may or may not. We'll see.
Apparently, there's different modes other than Battle Royale. There's like a Payday-esque mode where you can collect money and do contracts in order to level up your character and bring people back into the game.
That sounds more interesting to me than the Battle Royale mode, so I might check that out. But yeah, so that exists. So that's all I've been playing is really those two things. I still haven't played Murder by Numbers. I do still plan on playing that. Okay. Oh, did I talk about that on the podcast last week or just off the pod?
I think you might talk to me about that off the pod.
Oh, okay. So real quick, next week I'll be able to talk about Murder by Numbers. It is a murder mystery visual novel game, speaking of visual novels, but with the puzzles solved by Picross.
Yes, that Picross.
Yes, you figure out what the how to solve your mysteries by putting together evidence by making cross puzzles. So I will definitely be checking that out because it's very up my alley.
It is.
Yes.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. So yeah, I'll report back next week.
Okay, sounds good. And with that, that'll bring us to the end of the podcast.
It sure does. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Media Boat Podcast. We'll be back next week, except I will be back next week. We have a solo show for you, just me in the studio here. Mike will be out on assignment.
Yes, I will be out checking out LAX, how that's going. And we'll report back the following week.
Yes, back to regular programming the following week. But you can also, as we mentioned earlier in the show, catch our side series in March, our special March Madness bracket, which, as I mentioned, this year is a ranking, or I guess tournament of sorts, of the best shows of the 2010s. We are halfway through the first bunch of shows for you. We have talked about network television and we've talked about basic cable television.
Yep.
We are bringing it down to 4 shows per category to then decide the 4 shows that will compete.
Yep, we've got premium coming up,
number 1.
and then streaming following that before we get to our finals.
So stay tuned.
And oh boy, I don't know how we're gonna pick a show out of all these.
We already seem bewildered.
I am bewildered.
So yeah, look forward to that. But for now, thank you for joining us, and we'll be back. Oh, after I do the plugs.
Yes.
You can watch us live on YouTube.com in 2 weeks. Not next week. Next week will not be a live show.
Yes.
You can watch us live on YouTube.com. Just search Media Boat Podcast. We usually go live around 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Media Boat Podcast on YouTube.com. You can also hear us on audio form. That's where you can grab the next week's episode as well as the March Madness episodes as well. In audio form on most podcast services such as Apple Podcasts. Just search Media Boat Podcast to find that there. We're also on social media. At Media Boat Cast is where you can go to find us on Twitter. On Facebook, Media Boat Podcast, you'll find our page. Comment, like, we do check that page every once in a while, I presume.
Yes, I do.
And then email us if you have any direct questions or comments. MediaBoatPodcast@gmail.com. You can find us playing video games every once in a while at twitch.tv/MediaBoat. And then last, but definitely not least, if you like what we do here, and if you want to see us do even more ambitious, bigger things, there's a way you could do that. And that is by supporting us on patreon.com/MediaBoatPodcast. That is where you can donate any kind of money that you like to us on a monthly basis. You can donate as little as $1 a month, and even that small amount adds up and can help us make this show even better. It does cost money to host a podcast like this one. So please consider donating Media Boat Podcast to patreon.com/MediaBoat. So thank you for joining us for this episode. We'll be back next week. Or I will be
You will be back next week. I will be back the following week. But you can listen to me, if you love my voice, and I know you do, you can listen to me on the March Madness bracket. We'll have a new episode on Tuesday. That is St. Patrick's Day. Yes, you can listen to us drunk if you want to.
If you want. Drunk on green beer.
Otherwise, we will be back to our... Matt will be back next week with a regularly scheduled program.
See you guys next time. Bye.
Okay, bye. All right. Thank you, Chad, for tuning in.
Thank you.
We've been chatting live with you guys, as we do. But we have some candles to blow out now. So, thank you. We'll be back next week.
2
weeks. 2 weeks with the live show.
Bye.
All right, bye.